Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about The Exorcist, Season 1, Episode 4. It's called Chapter 4, The Moveable Feast. So, full spoilers for the episode, as always. So, this was very much a setup for the next episode, I felt like.
Yeah, it was a setup for the next episode and dealing with the last one.
Yeah, it was very much an in-between one, because obviously the big thing is the fallout of the train sequence from the end of the last episode, where Casey went all demonic on that
Yeah,
guy, and naturally, and I'm glad. I don't know what I was expecting, but I almost kind of half expected it to not like be taken that seriously in a weird way.
yeah, I know what you mean.
Like I could have almost seen them like taking her home and just like, oh, we'll sweep it under the rug, is like.
Pretend
But
it didn't happen.
yeah, but nah, they went straight into it, and obviously she's at the hospital, and the police have given the hospital, I can't remember what they call it, but it's 72 hours where the parents don't get to make any decisions. The staff of the hospital are the ones who have complete control over what's going on because she's had a dangerous break where she's a danger to others and herself, and so on. So there's a lot of Angela sort of moping around the hospital and calling Father Tomas and being like
I didn't really
complaining.
enjoy her in this episode.
No, I think it's because she is so persistent in one note in this episode.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, the hospital, like, why would they do this?" It's like, well, they're doing what they think is a good thing.
Yeah, like I get that you're already jumping to possession and demons, but the hospital are tackling it in a more normal manner.
Yeah, and she's like, at one point, she screams at them like, "Oh, why don't you stop just trying all this random stuff and give me some answers?" It's like, well, that's how they're trying to find the answers. That they're trying to figure out what it is.
Yeah, she was not being a rational human being in this episode,
No, I
and
found
that
it quite irritating.
and that made her quite frustrating indeed. That said, though, the Casey stuff itself, with the salesman talking to her, and it seems like he's trying to take control. Like it's like he's already there, and he's in her ear, but he's not taking complete control yet, and
Yeah,
he's trying to get her to relinquish control. Like it's like she has to offer it for it to work.
yeah, it does seem that way.
And we see through. Obviously, it starts with the dream sequence at the dinner table, which is quite obviously a dream sequence early on because you see your dad's okay, and
But even
obviously
that, I could buy like because he has moments of clarity, doesn't he?
true. But we
So
also
it's
have
like, but it's as soon as she cracks the egg, it's like, okay,
yeah,
dream
there's
sequence.
there's a weird dead bird inside the egg, yes,
Yeah,
which and the fact that no one reacts to it shows that it's a dream sequence. So that's sort of going throughout the episode, and at one point he even like tries to kill the nurse, and that's how he eventually gets her to crack and say, "Okay, I'll do whatever you want."
yeah,
But I thought that was all handled quite well because I thought he was sufficiently creepy throughout. Because I wasn't completely sold, maybe last episode, that she sees this presence that is what the demon looks like to her.
mm.
But they sold me on it a bit more in this episode because of the actual like chirping in her ear and the actual try to get her to relinquish everything.
Yeah. It felt very weirdly persistent, to use a word we just used to describe the other character, but in this way, it was to a good effect.
Yeah, well, because it was all about him whittling her down. So there
Yeah,
was like progress in what he was doing, whereas with Angela, it was just
yeah,
almost incoherent. Just I'm going to try and sue them because they said they were meant to do this and they didn't. You know,
yeah.
she felt like a nut job just grabbing at straws. And the fact is we know she's actually possessed. We're kind of on her side, but she still came off as a complete nut job.
That's the thing. It's like, yeah, she's kind of right, but it's not anyone else's fault.
And she even loses the rag with Father Tomas at one point. Like,
Yeah,
so you're no used to us then? Like,
it's like he's here, isn't he?
yeah, piss him off. That's a good idea. Like, just separate yourself from everyone and get help from no one. That's a good idea, Angela.
Yeah.
Stupid parent. um. So yeah, that's the sort of the main plot of the episode, and of course by the end, Casey does get let out because the doctor basically says, we have no
Uh,
idea what's going on,
yep.
so we're releasing her to you."
They give up.
they give up. And it all sort of builds up. And obviously the other storyline's built here as well, but it builds to they're going to try and perform the exorcism at the end. And it sort of ends in that cliffhanger of them getting in the room. But of course we build up there with the other characters as well. Tomas has his own little plot this episode where Jessica has separated from her husband because she caught him cheating. And
Oh, the irony.
yeah, well, it's funny because a lot of this plays with like how guilty he should feel. Like that's kind of what the whole thing's been about before now, is how guilty should he feel. But then when she brings this up, and she's clearly pissed at her husband, but the air in the room is, well, did I maybe drive him to this because I was secretly sending you letters? Like, like as much as maybe she wasn't, overly doing anything, but at the same time her heart wasn't in the marriage, and as a result that's kind of how it spiraled out from there.
Alternatively, he could view it as, well, he was cheating anyway, so I don't need to feel guilty.
I don't think he will, though. I don't think that's...
No, I don't think he will, but I think he could view it that way.
No, it doesn't make it right, though.
No, I'm not saying it makes it right, but I'm saying is for him as like a way of making himself feel better.
I don't think he's going that way at all, though. I don't get that from...
No, I'm not saying it
Yeah.
should. I'm saying it could go that way still, I think.
I don't think
I don't
it
think
is,
it
though.
will, though.
Yeah. Because even everything after that, when he's like telling her that he's going to break the rule and do the exorcism, and she has that little line of any other lines you're going to cross, and it gets kind of awkward.
It does.
But she says at the end, "You're stronger than I." That's the note she leaves him, and I feel like that's showing the integrity of his character and how much he's trying to do the right thing. So
Yeah.
I don't think for a second he's going to just take that as the easy, conscious way out.
No, I don't think he will. I'm just saying it'd be nice if they played with the idea of like, there he's got the alternative choice of how he could view it.
No, I think that'd be kind of tedious, if I'm honest.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like giving two sides to it would be more interesting. Personally, anyway.
I don't know, I feel like it'd just be dancing around this extra element of drama for the sake of it. Like the time they devote to it so far has been just kind of the right amount, and I feel like if they spend any more time on it, it'll just kind of bog things down.
Fair enough.
Otherwise, Marcus, of course, is looking into these names that Father Bennett gave him in the last episode, and he goes to this convent where he sees how the nuns actually deal with a possession in a different manner to him.
Yeah, it is very different.
Yeah, but really this is just kind of him getting his mojo back, because obviously I don't think we ever had the time period before, but we find out this whole incident where he lost the boy was about 1.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And the head nurse, I can't remember her title, but she basically says, "Suck it up, you lost one, get over it."
Yeah.
Which I thought was actually kind of funny, because it kind of like it was the opposite of like their approach to the possession. The whole thing was their approach to dealing with the possession and the exorcisms is that they don't try to like make the demon angry and like tell it to go away. They try and embrace the person with love and compassion, and that's how they do that. But it's funny to me that our pep talk for him was the opposite, where she said, she coerces him, she makes him angry and like to make a point.
It made me chuckle as well, where she says, "Oh, have you never lost one before?" He goes, "No, I don't lose." And he's like, "Oh, welcome to the realm of mortals."
Yeah. So no, I thought that was I thought that was a nice touch. It was a nice sort of juxtaposition.
Yeah.
But yeah, that all sort of leads to him. I mean, he actually does it their way and succeeds in freeing this person of a demon, which I guess gives him the confidence to finally go back, and it all just kind of leads to the end where they're about to do it, and that's kind of
Yeah,
your
and then
episode.
it cuts away.
It cuts away. Yeah.
What did you think of the tour guides?
They're characters. I'll say that.
I thought they were a little goofy, almost.
They,
Like they seem like really fanboyish about exorcism, almost.
They did. It didn't bother me so much though. I think because I think had we just had scenes with them on their own, it would have. But because Marcus was sitting there and he was being like a cynical ass about it, like when she brought up, the 666, the date of
Yeah,
the London fire or whatever, and he's just like, oh, spare me your number bollocks. You know, he's
yeah,
because he was calling them out on them being overeager about it. I think it was okay.
yeah, yeah. That makes sense.
Mainly because I think there is people like that. There's conspiracy nuts and there's all that. Because that's what they felt like to me. They felt like
Yeah, that's true.
so. Nah, I was kind of okay with that.
Fair enough.
But no, I mean I'd probably say it might be the weakest episode because it was.
I think it might be as well. There was good stuff in there, but it felt like it didn't move everything forward that much compared to any others. And it kind of all felt like, well, we're waiting for the next bit now.
Sure. I mean, I probably wouldn't phrase it like that, though. I would probably say it did move things forward because it was all about getting to the next episode, but it just. All the other episodes had moments in and of themselves that felt like the point of the episode, whereas this one, it felt like the point was the next episode.
Yeah.
So. Which TV shows do, and it's fine, but this is the first time this has done it, so it just kind of stood out a little bit more.
Yeah, it's always an issue when they do it, but they all do it. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Most do it. You get the odd great that somehow manages to go seasons and seasons without ever having an episode that feels like it's just.
Okay, one in like 100 shows, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's still like stupidly rare, and for the most part, you just have to accept they're gonna happen every so often.
Yeah. So no, that's Exorcist. Not much else to say. So let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments below. Like and subscribe and all that jazz. Thoughts and theories and all that stuff. And yeah, keep watching TV, guys. We will see you next time.